For the first time, we saw a Class 7 with the naked eye. It was very glinty, looked metallic. Through our optics, we've always thought it was purple or black. Frankly, the reflections look like chrome almost color.
So you mentioned simulating war games and these UAPs show up. Do you think, and obviously you get into speculative territory and, kind of philosophy, and I really want to get into kind of the hard data because that's what you guys sort of specialize in. But you think that might kind of show that we're living in some sort of three-body problem universe or something where they don't want us to harm ourselves? They show up around nuclear sites. They seem to across the U.S., but even abroad as well. And does that signal that they don't want us to, blow ourselves up or something? Or why do you think they show up around these sort of war games?
So we have some ideas on that, and I have some opinions on that. We'll say, for example, in 2021, the first time we saw them, we were running a war game for the government. The deliverable for that war game was tactics, and we had a blue team and a red team. The blue team's job was to bring American-made, government-made, and commercial-made protective systems for blue forces. Think air defense, think counter-drone, think other things. And then the red team was, again, American-made, as well as one-off hobbyist-type drones, aircraft, and other things. And the red team's job was to penetrate the airspace of the blue team or cause them to be able to basically tactically envelop the blue team and cause them to have a loss. And the blue team's job was to stop that. And so we're running this event, and I'm up on the roof of a very tall building with two young interns with binoculars looking for drones, right? So we're up there. I think we were 2 weeks into the project at this point. Every day, 12 hours a day, running the war game, and we were looking for drones as the mission controller, project controller, if you will, so I can modulate launch now, don't launch now, or hey, blue team, did you guys even pick up on that drone that was just here? So I'm trying to modulate the exercise and keep things flowing so we can be effective in developing tactics. And my camera operator, Mr. K, was like, hey, you have to come see this. There's something going on. So understand, we're up on the roof scanning the sky with binoculars, listening, seeing, and we see drones, but we don't see this other stuff. So I go down to the truck, and he's like, look at this. And he shows me the Class 1 formation of 7, the first sighting we had. This was the last day of the event, so we were shutting down a few hours later.
And just for the audience, Class 1?
Class 1's the Tetra.
Okay.
So it's a black-bodied object. It tumbles and spins at a very high rate of speed. We're shooting at about 26 frames per second, I believe. And between each frame, it's changed drastically in its flight characteristics and signatures so that we can only see a little bit of it and we can't really derive the shape. It looks like a tetrahedron, but it's really hard to say from the footage we have. It looks like a tetrahedron that's wearing a hat, and the hat looks like it's made out of atmosphere, as in if you have a low pressure, high pressure differential, you can get vapor, right? As in when a fast moving jet breaks the speed of sound, you see the vapor on the wings. That same effect looks like what we're seeing around the Class 1, and it basically wears it like some kind of field is holding it in place, and it's kind of there around it, kind of hiding the black body from the observer, if you will. So, and then that vapor tends to flash. It catches as it's moving kind of violently. It catches the sun's rays, I believe, and reflects back. So that was actually what he saw. Was he was looking in the sky for drones, thinking nothing about UFOs, UAPs, or anything else, and saw flashing and said, "What is that?" Zoomed in and be like, "Oh wow, there's 7 of these craft in a tight formation maneuvering on us," right? And again, I told you I was on the roof with interns with good ears and good eyes, better than mine. We're not seeing a thing. So to the human senses, there was nothing there, but these things flew probably 2,000 or 3,000 feet above us, and we had no idea they were there at all. Well, a drone of the same size in the same flight formation would have been glaringly obvious, excuse me. So it would have been so obvious that we couldn't have missed it.
So UAP by definition is, unidentified.
Yeah.
And it's even broader than UFO because it's aerial phenomena. When you see these sort of tetrahedron-like, things in formation as you're simulating war games, is your first instinct, oh, this is some state-of-the-art technology that's probably Russian or Chinese? Because there's a lot of reasons for them to want to see, the red team, blue team stuff that we're doing at home here in the U.S., right? Or is your first instinct, this is not from here?
I'm kind of all over the map, frankly. I get conflicting signals, if you will, from the data we're seeing. None of the rabbit holes, I call them, if you go down the, hey, it's made in America rabbit hole, doesn't make any sense. I've been on project and had special programs without telling us bring their secret things to our event. And so when we are exposed to that technology, which has happened several times, it's usually, hey, you signed an NDA, don't talk about it. Don't share it, delete that data. This is what you're going to tell your interns that don't have a clearance and know anything. And we're just going to write it off and move on. Right. And nobody has done this for the UAPs. Right. And it should be noted that we go to events and have gone to events over the years where the government has been there already on another project. And we show up day one and they have UAPs all over their event and they have no idea. Because they're not looking for them. They don't know they're there. They're very hard to see. If you don't know how to spot them with your technology, you're not going to be able to even see them or acknowledge that they're in your airspace.
So it's either adversary or NHI, right?
I would take it a step further and say it's not either or necessarily. It could be both.
Interesting.
Right. And I would also offer that what we are seeing, my observations and my team's observations are that whoever or whatever is controlling these is probing our capabilities. So it's not like, if I see a class 1, it doesn't just stay in a straight azimuth and fly north to south like it was already flying. No, it approximates us at the edge of our active telemetry systems, like a radar and jammers and other equipment that may or may not be present during whatever kind of event we're running. It will approximate on the edge of that effective bubble and then fly through the bubble of effect. So they're putting themselves in beam of our systems. And there's very few reasons why you do that from a defense perspective.
They're gathering information.
Probably. I mean, there's not a whole lot of reasons why you would put yourself, if I had the secret stealth technology, if I have an F-35, am I going to fly it to Russia and buzz Moscow and get in their radars and let them quantify what my F-35 looks like? I'm not an Air Force guy, but I would imagine no. I'd imagine that would be dangerous. Not because of getting shot down. That's obviously a problem, but also because now they know precisely how I look on their radar, which means they can weaponize that to detect me in the future. In other cases.
As you know, I'm always on the hunt for things that help me stay sharp, focused, and full of energy.